SENCO is responsible for the day-to-day operation of the school's SEND policy. All mainstream schools must appoint a teacher to be their SENCO. The SENCO will coordinate additional support for pupils with SEN and liaise with their parents, teachers and other professionals who are involved with them. The role of the SENCO is crucial in supporting early identification and intervention for children with special educational needs or disabilities, and will be a useful contact for parents or carers who have any concerns about their child's development. The type of responsibilities a SENCO has are overseeing the day-to-day operation of the school's SEND policy, supporting the identification of children with special educational needs or a disability, coordinating provision for children with SEND, and liaising with parents of children with a special educational need or disability. They're also responsible for liaising with other providers, outside agencies, educational psychologists and external agencies, particularly for children receiving support. And they are responsible for ensuring that the school keeps records of pupils with SEND up to date. The SENCO should have the support of the head teacher and other teachers to try and develop effective ways of overcoming barriers to a child's learning and ensuring that they receive effective teaching through assessing the child's needs and setting targets for improvement. SENCOs must also collaborate with curriculum coordinators at the school to make sure that the learning requirements of all children with a special educational need or disability are given equal emphasis and priority. A child or young person has SEND if they have a learning difficulty or a disability which calls for special educational provision to be made for him or her. A child of compulsory school age or a young person has a learning difficulty or disability if he or she has a significantly greater difficulty in learning than the majority of others of the same age, or has a disability which prevents or hinders him or her from making use of facilities of a kind generally provided for others of the same age in mainstream schools or mainstream post-16 institutions. All schools should have either a member of the governing board or a committee with specific oversight of the school's arrangements for special educational needs and disability. This is set out in the SEND Code of Practice. The SEND Governor is the appointed governor that communicates any SEND updates and information to the governing board. The SEND Governor may spend time in school with the SENDCO and they may discuss current information about SEND children and their provision. The Governor may also visit the school and meet with the SENCO to ensure the best quality support is in place for SEND children. Ideally, the SEND Governor should carry out a number of duties. They should understand the board's responsibilities under the SEND Code of Practice. It's also their responsibility to monitor and report on all aspects of SEND provision and on the progress of pupils with a special educational need or disability. They must also make sure the school is making reasonable adjustments in line with the Equality Act 2010. The SEND Governor must make sure the school has appointed a SENCO and that they've received appropriate training. They also should make sure that the board is up to date about any issues related to SEND and that it considers SEND in any budget discussions. They must meet regularly with the SENCO to discuss the provision, budget and resources for SEND pupils. The Governing Board are involved with the SEND provision, as they are with all other elements of school life. It is part of their role to look at provision that is in place and to offer support and challenge to ensure the best possible provision for SEND children. Governors look at data and reports about the performance of children with a special educational need and disability and strive for the best education for all children, including those with SEND. Members of the Governing Board will at times visit school to look more closely at initiatives that are in place to support SEND children, alongside other children. The role doesn't differ in special schools. The role of the SEND Governor in a special school and a mainstream school is largely the same. The key differences are that in a special school, the Link Governor will be monitoring arrangements that affect all pupils, as every pupil in a special school has SEND. The full governing board should take responsibility for the progress of pupils with a special educational need or disability, monitoring the SEND funding and holding the head teacher to account for the school's SEND provision. All governing boards have legal duties under the Children and Families Act 2014 in relation to pupils with special educational needs and disabilities. Governors' duties include the following. They are responsible for working to ensure that pupils with SEND get the support they need. Governors need to make sure that pupils with SEND engage with activities alongside pupils who don't have a special educational need or disability. It's also the board's responsibility to ensure that there's a designated, qualified teacher responsible for coordinating SEND provision, the SENCO. Governors must ensure that parents are informed when the school is making special educational provision for a child. They're also responsible for ensuring that the school publishes information on the website about implementation of policy for pupils with SEND in the SEND Information Report. And they must make sure that there are arrangements in place in school to support pupils with medical conditions. They must also cooperate with the local authority in reviewing the provision that is available locally and developing the local offer. Governors will need to ensure that their school meets the requirement to create and implement an accessibility plan for pupils with disabilities. This is a requirement of the Equality Act 2010. The plan must aim to increase how much pupils with disabilities can participate in the curriculum and to improve the physical environment of the school so pupils with disabilities can take better advantage of the education, benefits, facilities and services the school provides. It must also improve the availability of accessible information to pupils with disabilities. In addition to all of this, your school needs to consider how it will provide adequate resources to implement the plan. It must regularly review the plan. Governors should hold the senior leadership team to account for the implementation of the plan. To find out more about your responsibilities as a governor with regards to SEND, and to access our Governor's CPD package, please access our training page www.servicesforschools.org.uk.